Welcome to another episode of Geek Money Life, where we talk about money and how to make sense out of your dollars. And so today, I'm going to be talking about how you could potentially make a 100% or more raise on your income per year. Now, this might sound absolutely crazy because the average raise in the United States is anywhere from 3 to 5%. So how can this possibly work? Well, this is something that I've had to go through myself, and this is something that I've actually done myself. And so I'm going to explain this to you in ways that will make sense in terms of how you could actually do it step by step. And then in the end, I'm going to talk about how you could get this 100% or more raise per year. Now, before we get into the details, let's go ahead and set some numbers so we kind of have an idea of what we're working with. And so the average individual income in the United States is anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 at the time of this video. So what I mean by individual income is that's how much a single person makes in a household. Now the average household income, i.e. two people in a household, is anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000. Now to keep things simple, we're going to focus on an individual income, and we're going to assume you're making the higher end. So let's just say $50,000 per year, which is great for a lot of people. Now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the average raise that people get in the United States, at least at the time of this video, is anywhere from 3 to 5%. So let's go ahead and assume that you're going to get the highest available on the average, and that is a 5% raise. And so what does that actually look like in terms of numbers? So right now, if you're currently making $50,000 per year, monthly before tax, you're bringing home around $4,166. And if we were to assume like a 30% tax around that amount, you'd probably be bringing home $3,000 after tax. And so that's where we're at if you're making $50,000 per year. So now let's assume that you did an excellent job and now you were able to get the 5% raise. And so what is this increase to your total $50,000 salary? Well, 5% of $50,000 is $2,500. And so that's going to bring your overall salary up to $52,500. But if you actually look at that, you are getting an additional $2,500 per year. And if you break that down by months, so 12 months, you're actually getting an extra $208 every month. And when you look at it like that, that's really not much more money, especially if you had to work really hard to get an additional $208 per month or $2,500 per year. So that's definitely nothing that's bad because you are getting paid more. But wow, that's not a big of an increase as you would imagine. And even if you did exceptionally well, say you got a promotion or something and you were able to get a 10% raise, well, now you're getting $5,000 per year or an additional $416 per month, which still isn't bad. But considering the amount of work that you would have to get and the fact that most people do not get the 5% or even 10% raise, this is definitely an exception for most people working at a job. All right, so now that we have some numbers to work with, how can we actually first match the pay raise percentage that we're getting at our job? And then secondly, how in the world could you make a 100% or more increase in your income? Well, I think this is something a lot of people ask themselves. And they're probably wondering it's some magical secret method that nobody knows about or very few people do. But the reality is, this process is something that a lot of people already know, but yet they don't do. So what is this secret solution to making 100% or even more on your income? Well, the answer is work. That is a simple answer. You need to work more to earn more income. And now I know what you're thinking, duh. But the thing is, even though people know that, they don't do it. So what can this additional work mean? Well, it could mean a number of things. At your current job, if they actually pay you for working additional hours like overtime, that is probably the quickest way for you to make more money and match that 5% raise increase that you're getting. Or secondly, you could actually go out and do what I did, which is find other sources of income. So this could mean a part-time job. It could mean freelancing, starting your own side business, or even getting another full-time job. And I've done all of these things. And so if we take the example of this 5% increase, and just remember a 5% increase off of $50,000 per year salary would net you an additional $2,500 per year or $208 per month. And so for a lot of these financial goals, I like to break it down. And so if you think about it, like, how can I make an additional $208 or $210? I think most people could figure that out. And for an additional $208, you could get that by simply selling stuff in your home, or maybe trying to find a part-time job, which would actually get you even more than that. It would actually get you even more than a 10% increase in your raise, because that comes out to like $5,000 per year, as I mentioned, or an additional $416 per month. And so that is the quickest way for you to first match the current raise that you're getting. And if you add it to your current income, well, you've already exceeded the 10% raise that you would get if you even got that high of amount. And then the other side of it is this making 100% or more on your income. Well, this one is definitely a lot more challenging, but it's not impossible. So let's go back to that $50,000 per year. So per month, that's $4,166 per month. And if you average like around a 30% tax, you're bringing home $3,000, okay? So in this case, I like to keep things simple. If you wanted to match what you're currently making, i.e. $50,000 per year or $4,166 per month, probably the best way for most people to do that is to actually try to find another full-time job that pays that. Okay, now that one is definitely not easy, because a lot of times if you're working 2 full-time jobs, it's going to be very difficult, but it's not impossible. Okay, so for a lot of people, if they did try to do that, more than likely they might have to work outside of the normal hours. So they might have to try to find some overnight job that is full-time that allows them to do that. However, I actually have a better solution to that. So instead of looking for another source of income one way, another full-time job, which isn't going to be as easy, especially considering the amount of time that you have to spend, I would rather look for multiple different jobs, side income, freelancing that you could do that adds up to your current salary. So say, for example, you have this $50,000 salary. You need to make $4,166 per month total from all your other side or additional work that you're doing. Now, this is achievable for a lot of people, and this is exactly what I've done. So I've actually done the side thing where I just added up a whole bunch of pieces of work to equal what I was making. And I've also done the other one where I actually have 2 or more full-time jobs. And you're probably wondering, how was I able to do that? Well, it depends a lot on the type of skills and experience that you have. Now, I myself, I do digital marketing, and so this is something that I can do. So that's how I was able to increase my income 100% and actually more than that. And so this is actually something that blew my mind when I actually thought about it and then just broke it down. And then this was something that I think most people can do. Okay, but the only difference is you can do these things, but do you actually want to put in all the work to do it? And so that's really what it comes down to. You actually have to put that additional work to get additional work and to make more money. So as simple as that sounds, I really feel this is the best way for the majority of people to increase their income without having to give up what they currently have and without having to try some magical secret thing that really won't pan out, So in this case, a lot of people are looking for this secret formula or, silver bullet that magically brings them in all this money. But for most people, those are like get rich quick schemes, and they don't work for the long run. What does work in the long run, and which will always work, is trying to find more work. And so you just have to be a little bit creative on that. So that is it for this video on how you can increase your income and even up to 100% or more, and in a very practical and straightforward way. And so if you actually had any thoughts on this, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you did like a lot of these videos, come back, as we're going to have more videos on the Geek Money Life.